Hey guys, how are you? So for Self-Love Sunday, I want to talk about how to break out of the matrix and, where I'm at compared to where I've been, the progress I've made. Because again, the reason why I give the advice that I do is because I've been there, done that, and it's actually working for me. I am breaking out now. Um, and so it's a good reason why I could say I won't play it any other way, because there is no other way to play it. It's illusion any other way. So in order so the one thing that I noticed that a lot of people seem to be in agreement on, whether we disagree on how it's run, how it works, whatever. The one thing that a lot of people are seeming to click into and agreeing with is the fact that we are within a matrix, which, if you guys want to really put another label on it, again, illusion, matrix, illusion, dream, trip. This is not reality. Okay? The truth within this is love, peace, unity, oneness, because again, everything's a God particle, and God is literally the vibration of love. So anything that doesn't look or feel like love is illusion. It's matrix. It's not truth. So outside that, there's this agreement. More and more people are realizing we're in some sort of matrix. We're in some sort of illusion, whatever. Matrix. We're going to stick with the word matrix right now because people seem to be able to accept that word better than illusion. So there seems to be a general over agreement on the fact that we are in some sort of matrix. At least the fact that people are waking up more and more to this. They say the Matrix movies are, basically a documentary. Yes and no, there is truth to the Matrix movies, but you got to take out the fear programming. Fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not truth. So anything you're watching, you take out, so not anything, a lot of stuff, with the Matrix, you take out the fear programming, you're going to start finding truth in there. So how do we break out of the matrix? Stop clinging to it. Simple as that. You can't break out and let go if you're still clinging to it. So we've got all these people sitting here talking about how they're in a matrix and they want out, but then they still cling to it. They still cling to illusion. They still cling to there's negative energies. They still cling to there's hell. They still cling to the fact that they can be possessed or cursed or attacked. That's why you're not breaking out, because you're still clinging to it. I know people who are doing the work that they're doing, and it's important work. At the same time, I can tell, and we've talked from what I'm observing, they're kind of in this stagnant space. And they're just repeating the cycle of, doing this work, fighting off negative energies, and then they're constantly getting, put in Facebook jail, and or they're in this constant mode of struggle. Well, it's because they're clinging to the illusion and they're not letting it go, and that's okay. It's not there's anything wrong, and the work that's happening in these layers is important. But you want to know how to get out of the matrix? You want to know how to break out? I'm literally telling you how, because I'm doing it. I am point proof. So circling to Self-Love Sunday, I want to focus on where I've been and how far I've come. I've really been in a place of struggle, perception, illusion of struggle my entire life. I just turned 35. Now trigger warning, because I'm going to get into a little bit of heavy stuff. So if you want to skip ahead or turn it off, whatever, cool. I totally understand. So my weight is something I still struggle with. I'm not going to get into that right now. I have other videos talking about it. It's for various reasons. A lot of it, big part of it, self-love. The weight will start being a non-issue when I start not caring about it. I'm still working on making myself the healthiest as possible, but a lot of that is doing the internal work, and I along with the external, but it flows. The external flows as I do the internal work. I have lost 60 pounds in a year. Once I started doing my internal work, I got into the natural flow of getting the urge of going for walks, eating healthier. All I was eating was fish, rice, and veggies, maybe chicken or turkey here and there. Like I said, I've talked about it before, gained weight because the past several months it's been difficult. I've been in tower moments and my life blew up in my face, but now we're starting to switch. So where have I been compared to now? Almost my entire life, I have struggled with self-harm. I can't remember the last time I hurt myself. It's been months. I can't even remember the last time I actually had an urge to hurt myself. And that's huge. I've been struggling with self-harm since I was a teenager, and I just turned 35. I can't remember the last time I had the urge to hurt myself, and I can't remember the last time I actually did hurt myself. It's not even on my radar anymore. I still have moments where I feel like I can't do this anymore, but I stick through it, and I haven't actually attempted or bought anything to attempt since last summer or the summer before. I can't even remember. It's been 1 to 2 years since I've even bought anything to try, let alone attempt. It's been a long time since I've attempted, and it's been at least 1 to 2 years since I've tried. Again, those moments where I'm like, I can't do it anymore, it's when I'm waking up in the middle of the night, I'm extremely restless, I'm extremely agitated, I feel extremely alone, I couldn't see where this was headed, I couldn't see how I was going to get myself out of this. But now things are starting to switch. I have worked my ass off to get to where I'm at, and it's finally starting to switch. I knew Eric had my back. It was very much, again, about a year ago. It'll be a year ago in a couple weeks, and I'll talk about this again. But a year ago, my life blew up in my face, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to be homeless, and I was going to have to call for bankruptcy, and that's when I turned to Eric, myself, my higher team, Yeshua, God, and I just said, I surrender, because I don't know what else to do. I surrender. I literally don't know what else to do except surrender. And then I started accepting I make my reality. Energy only places we allow it to. I started doing the thought and energy work along with facing what I'm feeling, accepting where my shit's my shit. The moment I started doing that, things started switching around. The apartment I'm in, the listing, I got help through Women's Crisis to be able to do this. When I got approved for this, they told me they've never had someone get a place and approved that fast. It was within less than a month. They said it's never happened. My caseworker that I was working with, at least, she says she's never seen that happen. Eric had told me something specific was going to happen by November 15th. That didn't happen, but you know what did happen? When I came in to sign the papers, he asked if I want to move in by the beginning of December. I said, yeah, that'd be work, whenever, as soon as possible. If it's December, that's great. And he looks down at the paper, he's like, we could do November 15th if you'd like. And my jaw dropped, and I was like, yep, thank you. Thank you, Eric. Financially, I have struggled my entire life. As once I hit, old enough to have my own account and like start saving money and spending money, I've struggled. I've had a spending problem, particularly when it comes to my eating disorder. It's been a struggle with that, and I've started to work myself out of debt over the years slightly, but I've always dropped again. But this time, we've worked through my shit, and it's come away in layers. I've had people come up to me and say, I'm not spiritual, like people who've claimed to be my friends, and then say a whole bunch of shit to me, and I've had to block them. And they've said to me, I'm not as spiritual as I think I am, and I'm not doing what I'm doing, and I don't have the team that I think I do. Eric's not who he says he is, because I wouldn't be in the place that I am. I would have the money that, I'm wanting. I wouldn't be in debt, all this stuff. And they would talk about how they're masters of money manifestation and all this. I don't want money. I don't give a flying fuck about money. What I care about is living my life freely. I don't want to have to think about money, so I want enough to be able to have my own home, my own car, be able to travel around, pay my bills, pay for groceries without thinking about it. Outside that, I literally don't give a flying fuck about money. I don't want it. The only reason why I want the money is so I can filter it back out to everybody else. Especially with where I'm at now. Money is nothing. It is just another piece of energy. It's just another tool. And we do not need it to survive. Currency is eventually going to go away. That being said, certain people that have come into my life have been really big about money manifestation, money manifestation, money manifestation. You don't need to sit there and focus on manifesting money. It's already around us. We have abundance around us. You surrender to your team and they bring it to you. And at first it's going to be, for me, it was nail biting last minute, and I would get just exactly what I needed to pay my bills and be okay for the next month. Eric would bring me exactly what I needed. And it was, so like I said, oftentimes it was nail biting last minute, but I was always okay. And so I ended up being okay because I knew Eric had my back and I was going to be able to survive because of that. Where I was struggling was I didn't know how the hell I was going to switch, how this was going to switch and go from just being able to survive to actual abundance. Because I all I'm doing is this. You know, I've got one other means of income at the moment. But I don't want to get into the information about that. It's more personal. It is what it is. And it's definitely not enough for me to be able to, you know, I thankfully, like, for example, I thankfully have my parents around helping me out with groceries still. I still give them as much money as I can out of that and whatnot. But I've needed the help with my money up until recently. It's finally starting to switch when I spend money. So so first of all, to backtrack again with the help with, like, say my parents helping me with groceries, you know, that was a big lesson that I'm learning too, is, you know, I've talked about this. I think I talked about this in one of my last videos, or I talked about this recently in one of my poster videos about how we are here to help each other. We are here to help each other. We've got other humans around us and we can lean on each other. Like I was saying in one of my other videos recently, my friend was over the other day, and usually my team helps me put my hair up in pigtails. And I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm asking them for help over and over, and they're not helping. And I'm hearing Eric in my head, go ask your friend. Your friend's here. Go ask her for help. Not that they don't want to help and it's not bringing them joy, but we are also surrounded by humans, so it's okay to lean on other humans. So the fact that, then that's just it. You know, getting help and getting abundance can come in, we're just let go of expectations. It can come in any form. For me, the help and support that I've been getting when it comes to the section with, like, my groceries, I've had my parents to help me with that, which I'm beyond thankful for, because for me to even get to the food bank has been near impossible for me to do that. So thankfully my parents have been helping that. I still give them money as I'm able to, which lately it's been every time, you know, and I do go out and buy groceries on my own too. But in between, when I can't afford it, my parents thankfully are there to help me with that. That being said, I have worked really, really, really hard on surrendering all my money shit to Eric, and then doing the thought and energy work with just my life in general. Ding, thank you. And it's finally starting to switch around. And for the past 5 weeks or so, I came into this month with money in my actual account. I wasn't at zero. I hadn't hit my overdraft and was down to complete zero. And sorry about that. So I wasn't at complete zero. And when this month hit, every time I've spent money within 24 to 48 hours after I spent it, I've earned that money back. I've received that money back. Plus, if not a little extra, it's been multiplied. And I'm just in complete awe, especially what's been happening the past week. I knew Eric had my back, but I didn't see how this was going to be able to switch into something where it was going to be abundance. And I can finally see it now. The amount, I don't have a lot. And I'm being really fucking careful because I still have other bills to pay for this month, and I've got groceries I need to buy and whatnot. So I'm being really careful right now, but I've got a small chunk of money in my account. And I've got a very, very, very small chunk of money in my savings. Like, very small, just like, fuck it, I'll just say it. I've got like $40 in my savings account right now. But I've actually got $40 in my savings account right now. And I am so thankful. To some people that might sound silly, it's $40. Yeah, but you know what? My savings has been empty for years. I haven't been able to keep $40 in my account. If I get any money in my account in my savings by the end of the month, it's gone because I've needed it for bills or groceries. And right now I've got $40 in my account, and that's increased over the past couple months. So on one end, I might still be struggling. I am. I still have my moments where I struggle. My weight is still something I'm struggling with. But again, that's because we're really working on letting the physical go. We are not our bodies. We are not our bodies, and we need to let that go. There's a whole thing when it comes to attachment with our avatars that we need to break out of. But outside that, my self-harm, gone. My suicidal thoughts, for the most part, gone. My eating disorder, for the most part, gone. You know, my money spending issues, gone. The love that I have and the support that I have around me is so strong now. People who I've known offline, for the most part, most people have been dropped out of my life. And that's for good reason, because of where I'm headed. And I see that. And we'll meet up when everyone's ready. So that's been difficult. At the same time, as much as that's been dropped out of my life, the amount of support and love that I'm actually receiving now is incredible. It literally leaves me speechless. The kindness, the love, the faith, the support. You know, for those of you who are supporting me financially, I have some people that are just donating me money just to donate me money. I've had people tell me that I'm an investment worth putting money into. I've had people saying that they're gonna be one of the ones that, you know, in the future they're gonna be like, I knew her when. I've gone my whole life struggling. I've gone my whole life with people just patting on my head and pushing me away. Even when I came into this, there was people that were giving me a lot of support and love, but then at the end of the day, they did the same thing, patted me on the head, pushed me away. I've had a lot of shit happen to me that you guys don't know about, that I won't talk publicly. I won't talk publicly about it. Sorry. Just getting a phone call. There's been things that have happened to me that I won't talk publicly about. There's things that I've gone through publicly that kind of blew up in my face, and what happened privately, people still don't know, and I won't talk about it. And all I've ever done is when anytime I've done anything, all I've ever done is do it from the intention of help, and it's always come from my heart and truth. All I've ever wanted to do is help. I've never wanted to cause pain. And I could never understand why the world seemed to be the way it was. I used to be so angry before I hit my awakening. I used to be so angry, and I hated this. I hated my life. I hated this world. I hated humanity. I wanted to help, and I had a lot of love, but at the same time, I could see it disgusted me the way the world was. I didn't understand it. I would cry myself to sleep at night because of the way animals were being treated, for example. I was ready to fight, you guys. I marched in a group of 20,000 people during COVID for Black Lives Matter. So I get, again, if you're taking a call to action, you take it. Those layers are important. But they're also important to help blast us awake. It's all to help shake us and wake us up. It's all happening for good reason. And I'm not focusing on just BLM. I'm just saying in general. All of it. Why I brought up BLM is because I just want to point out I'm there too. I've marched. You know, I worked in a shelter. You know, I donate money where I can. If I see someone asking for money on the side of the road, I don't usually have change to give. But, I mean, if I've got a bottle of water that I haven't opened, they get that bottle of water. You know, I am not coming from a place of saying don't do anything. If you're getting a call to action to help, do it. At the same time, it's so important. It is beyond fucking crucial that we do the work. We go inward. We face how we're feeling. You have to face it. You have to embrace it. But then you have to accept it for what it is. Look for the lessons in it. What are your lessons in it? Face those lessons, embrace them, learn from them. Zoom out, see the truth of it. Ask to see everyone in each situation for the truth of what it is. Innocence, love, roles being played, lessons. It's all been agreed upon. There is good fucking reason why I talk the way I do. I would wake up at night with certain things that have happened to me that my body has done, and I'd wake up with scratches that hurt all over my back or different places on my body. None of that stuff happens anymore now that I accept that energy only plays as we allow it to. I am surrounded by nothing but love. Even when I've had energy and beings, galactics that come in that other people would label as evil, they've just sat with me and helped heal me with the rest of my spirit team. And then they've thanked me afterwards, saying, thank you for seeing us. They said, thank you for seeing us. Because we are literally one with all. The moment you label anyone or anything as evil, negative, bad, you are labeling yourself that too. You are boxing them in, and you are boxing yourself in. There is good reason why I talk about and promote the things that I do, because it's coming from experience, and I am breaking out of the matrix now. The way my body is feeling, it is so soft and so light. I am ready to start flying. I'm telling you, it's like I'm ready to start flying half the time. Not even half, most of the time when I get up and walk. It's like my legs, I can't even describe what my legs feel like. It's like they're not there. It's like they're just, I'm detached from my body, but not like in an anxiety way. It's just, you can tell you are not your body. You can feel you are energy floating around inside your avatar. And then at times you're floating outside your avatar, but you know you're still linked to it because it's still moving. I'm laying here and I'm connecting with Eric. I'm just sitting and talking with Eric, and I'm in this like cloud with my eyes closed. I'm in this like cloud, this space, and I can hear all of the external going on around me, but it's like I am not part of it. The things that I'm seeing, feeling, experiencing, hearing, I have a hard time putting into words. And yeah, they're like, oh, if you channel, just ask your spirit team. I can, but if I have blocks up, it's still difficult, and I don't want to always have them talk through me. I want to be able to use my words, even if I have difficulty and I don't have the right words, because I want you guys to really hopefully feel in some way what I'm specifically feeling, and how real this is, and how fucking cool and magical and beautiful it is. And I've worked my ass off to get to this point, and I've had several people along the way really try to knock me down. Tell me I'm a fraud. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me to go on medication. Tell me to go lose weight. Tell me that Eric is a shade and he's attacking me, that he's pissed off with me, that I'm under massive scrutiny and everyone's angry at me. I've had people say they would want me to that they'd want to rip me apart because of my relationship with Eric. It's been really difficult in the perception of illusion. It's been difficult. At the same time, in all those cases, I can also see where it's a reflection of my shit. I have been afraid that I'm crazy. I have been afraid that Eric's mad at me. I have been afraid that I'm under massive scrutiny. I have been afraid of all this stuff, and they're reflecting that for me, and I thank them for it. Because every time that stuff happened, once I actually faced it and did the work on it, I was blasted up. Especially the last one that I went through. I'm genuinely thanking her, because that gave me a massive blast up. I need that separation. We need that separation right now, but I got a massive blast up after that, and I am genuinely thanking her. It was for good reason that we went through what we went through. There was lessons in it for both of us. How do you break out of the matrix? Stop clinging to it. It's the only way. You gotta let it go. Even when it's a hard pill to swallow, it doesn't make it any less true. The only time something is not your shit that you don't need to work on is when you're in a situation or someone says something to you and you're neutral about it. If you are getting anything that doesn't feel good, a thought or a feeling that doesn't feel good with any situation, with something that someone says to you, anything, that is your shit being reflected back at you, and you have a lesson there, and you need to go and face it, feel it, and do the work on it. And I'm not saying that to be harsh or angry or rude, or I'm just trying to help, because again, guys, I'm coming from experience. The only way out is through. You can't break out of the matrix if you keep clinging onto it. You want out. Everyone's saying, I want out, I want out. Stop indulging in it. There is no bad, there is no evil. You sign up for everything you go through. Everyone signs up for whatever it is they go through. Again, this is difficult to hear. And I don't just go up saying this to random people, but I will say it in my space, because this is absolute truth. And I will not play it any other way. And if you're in my space, that means you're ready to hear it, even if you don't accept it and you reject it. And even if you think it's fucking crazy, you are ready to at least hear it. Everything everyone has gone through. Think of the most horrific, torturous, disgusting act that you can think of. They signed up for it. It was agreed upon by all parties, and it never actually took place. There is always the reality underneath the illusion, and what's within truth is always actions of love. And we are literally choosing to see illusion over that, which is attack, torture, pain, fear. I know how hard that can be to accept. I still have my moments where I resist that, because there's some things out there that are, to think that I would sign up for that or someone would sign up for that, that's so fucked up. But again, that's judgment. We need to not judge it. Healing back home is remembering none of it happened. No pain happened. No suffering happened. You didn't do bad. So stand up, dust yourself off, and accept the healing and the love that you deserve, because you didn't do bad. There is no hell, there is no punishment, which is why it's beyond crucial we learn to control our minds. That's the only reason why people experience any kind of hell when they go through near-death experiences and whatnot, because there's something within them that feels that they deserved it, that they believe in it. And the moment you ask for help, you're out of there. I've come a really, really long way. I still have work to do, but I've come a long way. I finally have my own little apartment. My money is starting to actually increase. You know, my eating habits are getting better. My anxiety, oh my God, my anxiety is like gone. Nowhere near where it used to be. The only time I get any kind of anxiety is when I think about, the only time my anxiety really starts to kick in now is when I start thinking about the work that I'm doing, because it's so public. And that makes me nervous. For various reasons. I won't get into it because some of it's more personal, with stuff that I'm not ready to talk about publicly for various reasons. But I mean, this work is public, and like I've talked about, it's all within my own head. I'm getting physical proof outside my head, but there's still that it makes me nervous. So I do get some anxiety still when it comes to this, because it's so public. I don't like being seen. That's part of what I'm working on. Sorry, hang on. I don't like being seen. I've always been comfortable being a follower, and I don't ever want to see myself as a leader, but as an equal team member, that's something I need to do. I need to work on it, and I am working on it. So my anxiety, I wouldn't even say I have an anxiety issues anymore. Anything that you would label mental health, that's all balancing out. Because again, mental health, no one's actually sick. Again, discernment, it's important on those layers that we look at people as sick in that way of mental health, so we can help them properly, and that help is going to improve as we start to understand more and more, and it's accepted what the truth of mental health actually is. The help for that's going to improve. Outdoor spaces with one-to-one care with people who actually understand that it's just this awkward calibration between illusion and reality. That's going to start balancing too. So, but on that layer of mental health, that's all balancing out. And this is all stuff I've struggled with for 33 to 35 years. And now in the past 9 months, since I've actually started putting in this work, it's all finally switching. And the thing is it's come on in layers. It's melting away in layers. And I'm doing it on my own with the help of my spirit team, one now at a time. I'm not having my parents there helping me do it all. I didn't just get a big chunk of EI to throw on my debt and just walk away. you know, I've had to put in work. And it's taken time, but I can see why it's needed to be this way. But that's just it. The thought and energy work, I'm doing it constantly throughout the day. You might do it 1,000 times a day. And at first, you might not see how it's going to work. But I promise it eventually does. And I personally would rather have it come on slow and steady. So I'm getting this solid foundation. And it's all coming from within my own inner strength, rather than having it thrown at me all at once. And then I'm sitting in this space where I feel like I'm all abundant, but then I've got this chaos going on within me. I'm finding love, happiness, and peace within myself. And as that's happening, it's starting to come online and being brought to me. I'm working my ass off when it comes to my own shit. But outside that, I don't need to struggle. It's all brought to me and it's all melting away. Ding, that was a big ding. Thank you, Eric. So I have to give myself credit. I've come a really long way. And then on top of it, with my channeling abilities. I've been channeling and trance channeling and making predictions and stuff my entire life. I just didn't realize. But with consciously doing it, you know, when I first hit my awakening, the first person I became friends with, we were friends for just a couple months and we stopped being friends. One of the things that she told me was that, you know, again, another person that told me I'm not who I am and where I think I'd be, or I'd be doing this, and this. I had just woken up just a couple months before that. And they were saying because I didn't have hundreds of followers and I wasn't part of certain groups that I'm not this, and this, and I don't have these abilities. I had just woken up. I'd been doing it all my whole life, but I had just woken up. Now, just over a year later, I went from 5 to 10 followers to I officially hit just 335. I know it's not 1,000 in a year, but that's still, and then just in the past couple months is when I just increased another 200. And now I'm starting to get interest. I have a couple people that want to pay for a monthly membership, which I just realized I forgot about Patreon. A good friend reminded me of Patreon. So right now I've got this monthly membership that's going into September, but going into October, we'll see. I think I might just switch to Patreon. That'll just probably be easier. So Patreon. But that's just it. That's a year. Within a year, I went from 10 followers on my YouTube to just over 300 and people wanting to pay for a monthly membership. And I've got, you know, people complimenting me, donating me money, all this stuff. My life is literally switching around. My life is changing, and it is so cool. And it's because I do not cling to that crap anymore. I still cling to it at times. I cling to it like everyone does. When I'm saying I won't cling to that crap anymore, I'm talking about I will not sit here and say that there's negative energy, that there is anything bad, that I'm a victim, that anyone else is a victim. I accept that I've signed up for everything I go through along with everyone else. And where I'm neutral about something, I can let it go. There's not a lesson in there for me. But the moment I'm triggered or not feeling good about something, I've got crap there and I need to work on it. That's why I'm getting to where I'm at right now. And I'm just really excited to keep doing this and just see where I'm at in a year from now. In a year from now, I'm like, I'm limiting myself because I'm like, okay, in a year from now, I'm going to at least be able to rent a car. I'm going to be able to have enough money to own car insurance. I can at least rent a car. I'm like, why shouldn't I be able to own a car in a year? I can fucking own a car in a year, and I'm going to own a car in a year. I'm going to own a car in a year. And then my insecurities kicking in. So I'm like, okay, I'm saying this publicly right now. I'm going to own a car in a year. And then what if I don't? And then I'm going to have a bunch of you being like, you just said you're going to own a car in a year, and like, you're bullshit now. But again, this is illusion. I still cling to it too. And this is why we stop ourselves from abundance, because we don't believe it can happen. We don't believe we can deserve it. We think it's too much. We think it's too fantastical. We think it's too real. It's us stopping ourselves. So every time I have the thought of, I can't, it's too much to happen in a year, too much, I need to stop, and I'm going to remember to start stopping, letting myself feel it, and then I'm going to talk with Eric and then give him my shit, along with the other members on my team that I do that with, and also throw it up into source. We got this. You want out of the matrix? Stop clinging to it. All right? And again, like I said, this is coming from experience. And you guys will keep seeing, the more I keep doing this, the more my life is going to change. And I'm going to be point proof. I am. Right now I am point proof. I'm point proof that this stuff works and it's real. So, yeah, thanks you guys. I love you all so much. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? I feel like there's other stuff. It's just, all I can say is just trust me, guys. I know, trust me. Who am I for you guys to trust? But all I can say is, I promise, this stuff's real. It works. I'm working my ass off, and I would not still be here right now. I would not be here right now if I hadn't been putting in the work in. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for a lot of you guys and for my spirit team, but I also wouldn't be here right now if I hadn't been putting the work in, because there's no way I would have been able to survive everything I've gone through in the past year or so if I hadn't put the work in and if I hadn't surrendered. There's no way. There's no way. So, yeah, we got this. Like I said, I talk about what I do for good reason. It's coming from experience, and my life is finally switching. Like I said, Eric's had my back, and I've been taken care of this whole time. But that switch into where it's going to start increasing into abundance now, that's finally took place. And what's interesting is it's also really big things also really has happened in the past few days, which lines up with the Lion's Gate and the full moon, the super moon, and all that other stuff, which again, part of illusion, that stuff can happen anytime, but it's a good tool. It's a good tool to help for those who do cling to illusion and whatnot, which we all do. And for me, that part of illusion does help me. So I take it. It works. It works. As long as it's benefiting your highest good, cool. So, all right. Thanks, you guys. I love you all very much. One now at a time. Hard pills to swallow, but I get it. It's been difficult for me at times to accept this stuff, but it's beneficial because it's the truth. And once we accept it, yeah, it's cool. So, all right, thanks you guys. I love you all so much. Seriously, thank you. And I feel like, this is going to turn it, we're already at 37 minutes. I feel like Eric and Maitland both want to say something. I don't want to go into trance. I mean, if I go into trance, it's because I'm allowing it to, so there's a piece of me that wants it, but I'm just like, we're already at 40 minutes. Okay, what are you guys saying? Okay, Maitland's going, I love you. Oh, she's going to just, if I start talking for Maitland, she's just going to come right through. She's just going to trance easily right through me. Okay, guys, I'm going to start trancing Maitland. Sort of. I don't know. Okay, Maitland's saying... She's getting so much better at this. I knew it was going to be able to come through really quickly. She thought she might have to sit there, but no, she also knew that it was going to be quick too. I just want to say I love you guys. I love you, and, Chantel's right. You can't let go of the Matrix if you're still clinging on to it. Matrix, illusion, dream, whatever you want to call it. You can't break out of it if you're still holding on to it. We understand a lot of this stuff can be really difficult to accept. Remember, guys, we've been there. We've all been there too. There are people who have gotten the information that angels and archangels never incarnate. But remember, we're all one and we all share the same consciousness and we're all fractals of each other. So that technically is an actual truth. There was a reason why it was said. Humans needed to understand that, especially because there are humans out there, and Chantal was one of them. It was easier for her to be able to lean on angels and archangels when she saw them as more ethereal and very separated from humans, because there's that less of that embarrassment and feeling of judgment, even though we don't judge, but humans still cling to that. So remember, we've all been there. We understand the human experience, and we get that it can be really difficult to accept that you sign up for everything you go through, but the thing is, though, guys, it's true. And we want to help you. And we can't be helping you if we're lying to you. And through Chantal, we're able to give this piece of truth. We're not going to be able to necessarily do it through every medium because there's blocks and filters and discernment. But this space is a good space for us to be able to give out this information. It's not the only space, but it's one of the good spaces to be able to do it. Not good as in judgment, but good because there's that openness, and this is what Chantel is part of what Chantel is here to do, is explain truths on a more zoomed out level, which is why it's been difficult for her, because there are a lot of people still out there that don't get it, and they do think this stuff's crazy, and they look at it as something bad, because there are people out there that look at it as you're allowing yourself to be a victim because you're just saying it's okay if someone punches me in the face. But that's why we talk about, again, we understand you're clinging to illusion. So if the perception of boundaries is needed in that now, it's okay. Like Chantel says, it's okay, and you can let it go. You can put up those boundaries, but then let it go. It's important to do this work, you guys, because the only way out is through, and you have to do the work to get out. You can't keep clinging on to it if you want to let it go. You notice the paradox there, the contradiction? You're wanting to let go, but at the same time you still want to cling on to it. So to let go, you have to actually let go. So, all right, we love you all very much. You know you got this. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to sign off today. I'm going to sign off. I'm not going to let Chantel come back till after we hang up. After I hit the end button. That's funny. Words. Eric, a word is a word is a word is a word. We've been saying that lately. Chantel's been quoting that a lot lately, but it's true, because that's important also. It's the energy intention behind the words. So anyway, all right, I'm going to sign off for Chantel. Yay, I'm excited to do this. This is fun. Okay, so, and now she's drooling. I love her so much. I love you. I love you, Chantel. I love you so much. You're funny. And I love you. I just love you. And I love all of you guys. I love you guys all so much too. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. And I'm going to say what Chantel says because I get to sign off today. This is funny. This is funny. I like the fact that I'm signing off. Okay. All right. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. All right. I love you guys all very much. And as Chantel says, okay, we're going to have to open our eyes because I'm not quite sure where the end button is. There.